Hey, what's going on YouTube? So you may or may not have seen the DIY dog crate that we did a few years ago. If you don't know, with our setup, we have the dog crate up against the doggy door so that when we leave, we put the dogs in the crate, they can go out on the patio. It's enclosed, but there's like a grass area off to the side, but they don't have free reign of the house. And here's why. And that's why. So this video, we're replacing the door. Coming up. So last month when I went on my annual camping trip, I left 2 of our 4 dogs home with my girlfriend. So the German Shepherd right here doesn't really like to go camping. I feel like it's better just to leave him home with my girlfriend, and that's what we've been doing for the last couple of years. But in the last year, it seems like that one is going deaf. He's Jack Russell, and I didn't want to chance taking him camping if he wasn't able to hear me calling him, and so we left him home as well. Here's the problem. He attacks the little one. For whatever reason, when we put him in the crate and they're by themselves, he attacks him. We have to put a muzzle on him, but even then he's been able to get through the muzzle and still do some damage and injure him. There was one time there was a hole big enough in his neck that was big enough to put my thumb in. So my girlfriend thought that it would be a good idea to stick them in the bedroom. So she put Scooter in the bedroom one day, and then another day she put Vern in the bedroom and Scooter in the crate. Well, the next day that she did that, she put Vern in the bedroom and Scooter in the crate, Vern decided to chew through the door. So she tried to take the door off and go and replace it. So she took the door off the hinges and tried to go and get another door. Well, doors aren't cut for hinges. I was thinking we could just go buy one with the frame and just take it out of the frame and slap it in. Well, the hinges didn't line up. So now I have to cut hinges for the new door. I was thinking it was going to be a headache, but then I had an epiphany. I remembered earlier this year that I finally got a router. So I'm hoping that'll make it easier. And I'm out here in the garage. And monsoon season is not over here in Phoenix. We have a dust storm blowing in. Awesome. Okay, so I took the old door, lined the tops up, and then just marked straight across, and then took the hinge and drew the outline. Now I gotta set up the router. So I'm still building my collection of router bits. I don't currently have very many, and I don't have any that would be good for this job. So I'm actually using an end mill bit that would go in like either a mill. I've used them in my drill press to do a few projects. So this should still do the job. I'm using this one because it's got a 1/4-inch shank, and now I just got to set the depth, which I'm going to use the hinge to set the depth. Unfortunately, the hinge is not long enough to get right up next to the bit. See if we can get a straight edge or something like that. We're gonna need to keep the goggles on just because of the blowing dust. Being at the end of a cul-de-sac, all the debris collects in the garage. Now we're going to get to cutting this and see how well that goes. So there's the pocket. I'd say that's going to work, and went insanely faster than trying to use a hammer and chisel. And I won't bore you with the next two cuts, so go ahead and knock those out real quick. So we finally got the door on the hinges and fit to the opening, and to be completely honest, it probably would have been easier to do the entire frame and just rip the whole thing out and put a whole new frame and door in. This door did not fit this frame very easily. I had to shave off a bunch of the edges so that I could get it to fit, so it was a lot of work. Cutting the hinges freehand with the router was actually the easiest part. I'm sure that they have jigs that you can use with a router bit to make cutting hinges easy. I don't do it all that often. This is like the first time that I've done it that I can remember. So it wasn't that difficult to freehand it. I don't anticipate having to do it that often. We don't lock the dogs inside, so we shouldn't have to do it again for quite some time. Unfortunately, the door didn't fit in the opening from side to side. It was too big. Somehow, some way, I don't know. Why they would even just sell a slab is beyond me if the openings are that far off. And the tool that I had to try and adjust the door as far as the size goes, shave off some of the edges, belt sander. Not the ideal tool for that job. So after working at it forever, I jumped onto Home Depot's app and was able to order a planer. This made it a whole lot easier and a whole lot nicer of an edge. So this was like 60 bucks and well worth it. So we got the door to fit. I had to do some more adjustments with the hinges in order to get it to fit right, because I got it to fit the opening, mounted it all up, and it was too far this way. So I had to bend the hinges a little bit in order to get it to shift that way. And now we got it to close, and I would call it done. Maybe a little bit of touch up with the paint, but other than that, I would call it done. It does drag a little bit on the carpet. That was on purpose because the carpet's gonna get ripped out of here and I'm going to tile in here eventually. When we moved in, there was carpet in 5 areas in the house, the 4 bedrooms and the living room, and the cats that we had decided to ruin the carpet in 4 out of those 5 areas. Cat urine does not come out of the carpet ever. We don't have cats anymore, but the carpet is still ruined. So that's why it drags on the carpet. I don't really care because hopefully that's going to be a project coming up. And I apologize, I didn't record all the fitting. I didn't even get any footage of using the planer. I didn't want to bore you with all that fitment. It took me several hours to get this done over several days. So I didn't take the time to film it. I do apologize. So if you have any questions on how I did some things on this, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. And until next time, we will catch you guys on the next one. See ya.